My biggest concern within politics, and the reason that I don't really like it, is because I think that a lot of politics are really corrupt. I moved from like a really, really small school that I went to literally from kindergarten to 7th grade. Like, there's so much hate and people are so comfortable like being so rude to each other, and I don't think that's okay.
I feel like you are, very passionate about it, and you do really resemble kindness. How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Undisputed Conversations. I am your host, the most undisputed man in the world, Alejandro Cervantes. And yeah, I'm very excited for this interview today. Boys and girls, please help me welcome Grace Baebler.
Hi, guys.
So, a little background here. When I first started this, before I even started this podcast, there was a few people that I said, okay, I want to interview that person. I want to have a conversation with that person. Grace is actually one of those people. I remember doing an interview for a show that I had in high school, The True British Story. And I interviewed Grace, and she just gave me, it was one of my favorite interviews. She gave me a lot of detail in her responses, and I was like, I got to get her on the show when I start this podcast. So I'm very excited for this interview. Thank you for coming on today. So Grace is actually a sophomore in high school, right? Is that right? All right. And I know Grace from a speech and debate class last year. When I was a senior, we were in the same speech and debate class. What are some of the stuff that you've done this year at school? Talk a little bit about that.
So I am the vice president of my sophomore class right now, and it's still pretty early, but we're running right into homecoming, so we've been doing a lot of that. Our theme is like make yourself at home, so it's very like homey, very comfortable, like the spirit days like PJs. So we're just trying to figure out how to get the SLC to kind of feel like home and make everyone comfortable. We also have to do the flow, of course, so we're trying to figure out what we want to do with that. Um, yeah, I think personally, I'm just starting my sophomore year, and I'm just figuring out all my classes, trying to make sure I got all of it under control.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, I remember when I did an interview with you last year when you were running for VP, that you had a lot of plans, you have a lot of goals for, your VP position or, things like that. How is that going for you? I know you said you barely started, but what would you say are some of the goals that you have for like the end of your school year? Like, the last day of school comes and what's that one thing that you're like, yeah, I wanted to do this and I did it.
I think that the biggest thing for me is going to be the winter ball, because that's going to be run by the sophomores, and I've never done that before. Like homecoming I did last year, and like I kind of know what I'm doing now, and I'm starting to get the hang of it. Whereas the winter ball, like I've never put on a dance before. That's something that's very new to me, and something that I really need to learn how to do and how to do well. Because it's really important to me that I get as many people involved as I can. And like I have a lot of connections to other sophomores, and I think that I can help them to be heard as much as possible, and like try to get their opinions and like what they want to see at the dances and how I can implement that.
I love that. I love that. Now, I feel like you really do have that mindset of like including everybody and want everyone to,
Of course.
really feel included at school. What was like your inspiration for, running things that way?
My dad. Ever since like I was really, really young, he was always telling me to be a leader, and the way to be a leader, he always told me, was to help other people out, and he always said to get people under your wing and always like try to get some people that aren't really included and try to bring them in, try to bring them into the fold, and that's something that I've really instilled into my personal life, and a belief that I very much try to implement within my life. So.
That's awesome. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
I feel like it's a very exciting time for like the people in your grade and the people at Heritage right now. Because I know I've personally had some experiences where like, situations are really like for everybody or like including everybody. So I feel like
Yeah.
that's something that you're really, a positive thing that you're bringing to Heritage High. So,
Yeah.
so thank you for that.
Of course.
Now, who would you say is like your role model? Who do you consider a role model in your life? I know you mentioned your dad. Is he your role model or?
He definitely is one of them. I think right now one of the people that I look up to a lot is Miss Ben Carey, our advisor, because I have like multiple classes with her. She's the activities director of all of Heritage, so she's doing everything. She has to get everything approved, and she's also like a mother of like two kids, and She's my class advisor, so when I'm doing stuff for vice president, that's like my main person that I have to go through for everything. I have her for ASB leadership, and I have her for Plus leadership, which is peer leaders uniting students, which is like a big part of my mission, you know. Um, so I see her a lot, and I talk to her a lot, and I see her in her everyday life and how she's like literally doing everything, and she does really well under stress. I know that a lot of people don't really think that. She has sort of a reputation to be a little snappy, but I think it's because she has a lot to do, you know, and I think that she and the fact that she's not even like respected that much and she does so much, like I think that that is so cool that she still gets up every morning to do all these different things. I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. That's really cool. Now I know you mentioned that you're planning on running the winter ball, and you're running the homecoming too. How does that work? How's the process? How is that setting up? How is the process leading up to what everybody sees on the day of the homecoming?
Uh-huh. So, well, I told you that like I don't really know what the winter ball is going to look like
Mm.
yet. I know that like it's put on by the sophomore class. So me and my class office, which consists of like me as vice president, our president Karina Helvey, um, our secretary Jessica Smith, our treasurer Dean Schmidt, and our historian Sophia Furman. We all are basically in charge of planning everything. So, along with the rest of ASB leadership, but they don't have such as big of a role in making the decisions. So we have to figure out food trucks. We have to figure out the music. We have to figure out there's like fencing and stuff that we have to do, and we have to like figure out where we're gonna have it. Normally, because it's cold, we have it in the calf, but we can also do it in the gym or like other places. So it's just a matter of figuring out like that sort of stuff, the theme, like what we're gonna have inside the calf. Because normally we have activities too for people that don't want to dance.
Yeah.
So we have to figure out all that sort of stuff. Um, but for homecoming, we don't actually put on the dance. That's a ASB leadership thing. So ASB office, they take care of that. What I, as sophomore vice president, does is I'm taking care of our specific theme for the sophomore class. So every class has their own float. Every class has their own SLC that they decorate. So I'm in charge of those decorations and that flow, and just overseeing the plan of like what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Like we have like so many decorations that we want to do. We have so many big plans this year because we have the leadership class to help us to make all these decorations. So I'm just in charge of telling people, okay, I need you to do this, I need you to do this, and then I tell them to go. And then hopefully they give me something that we love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. All right, now, like I mentioned in the beginning, we were both in the same, speech and debate class last year, and you did really good.
Thank
Like
you.
I remember you like destroyed me in a few debates when we were there. Have you? My question to you is: have you always, been someone who's like good in front of people, good in like public speaking and stuff like that, or did that come as you were growing up?
Um, I think that I've always had very strong opinions. I think that I come from a family that allows me to be opinionated and ask for my opinion, which I think is super important. So I think that I've always sort of had that ability to speak my mind. But public speaking in itself, like talking in front of a lot of people, it's always going to take practice, always. I think that when I was younger, I was in like the spelling bee and I did these all sort of things. So I kind of had that foundation of speaking in front of people, which I think is super important. Because if you're not speaking at a young age, then you don't really grow that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously, like, I wasn't always this confident in myself and confident speaking in front of people. But over time, like, I spoke at my 8th grade graduation. I speak at plenty of events. So I've learned to be comfortable.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
even then, I still get nervous, you know?
No, yeah, it's normal. It's normal. Now, what would you say is a moment of your childhood that makes you smile?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, Spending time with my grandparents. They they're from the Philippines, and so they're very in touch with their culture, and they built their own house on this hill in California when they moved here, and I loved that house. That house is super important to me. I used to always go on walks with my grandfather, like around. They had like this huge backyard, so we would like go around the backyard, and we would like pick oranges that like my grandma would put in her dishes that she made. Um, yeah, and it's actually my late grandfather's birthday today.
Wow.
So,
Okay, that's really
yeah.
cool.
So
Yeah.
it's like I actually love that you asked me that question.
Mhm.
I think that's so good.
No, yeah, that's really cool. It's always good to have a relationship with your grandparents,
Yeah,
and sorry for your loss,
it's
but
okay.
it's cool and it's really
Yeah.
good that it brings you back good memories and makes you smile.
Mhm.
It's all about the memories.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and I'm really grateful that I have the memories.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that they were from the Philippines, right? Are
Mhm.
you from the Philippines as well?
Um, I was not personally born in the Philippines. I've never been to the
You never been
Philippines.
to the
I've
Philippines?
never been to the
Yeah.
Philippines, but all of my family is from the Philippines. Like my mom's generation and down are not, but
Mhm.
like everyone above them is. So I
Yeah.
have a lot of Filipino family that
Mhm.
I'm like close to, but I personally never been there.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you know how to talk? Is it Philippines? I don't know.
Tagalog, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you?
I can understand it. Like my
Okay.
grandma will
Uh,
she speaks it all the time. So like I can pick
mm.
up words.
Yeah.
Or like I can understand like context clues of like what she's saying, but I can't speak it personally.
Okay. No. Okay. Well, that's so cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that your grandma's still here with you, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. How's your relationship with her now? Because I know, like, me personally, like with my grandma, I remember when I was younger, I was more of like, how do I explain it? I feel like now I could have more conversations with her now that I'm
Mhm.
older. How has your relationship changed from when you were younger to now that you're a little bit older?
Um
If it has, I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, I actually used to be really quiet as a kid.
Mhm. Same.
So I like didn't really talk to my grandma a lot when I was younger.
Mhm.
Now I think that we're definitely closer and I can like laugh with her.
Yeah.
Since my grandfather's death, I think that we've grown a lot closer as a family. I think that we like have really truly understood like how important we are to each other.
Yeah.
So that's really good. I think that I've spent more time with her. But she travels a lot. So I
Okay.
don't like spend like a ton of time with her, but like when I do, like it's good time, you
Yeah,
know?
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I know you mentioned that you never gone to the Philippines before.
Mhm.
Have you ever traveled anywhere?
Mhm.
Yeah. What is the coolest place that you traveled?
Um Italy. I went on a cruise. So I went to Barcelona, Spain, Marseille, France, Florence, Italy, and Rome, Italy. And it was like the most amazing experience. That was the first time I've ever traveled out of the country. And I was with my whole family. My grandma took um, my family and all of my cousins. So it was such a fun trip and I was so close to my family.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to like experience the rest of the world and especially seeing all of those like museums that have art from like before America even started. Do you know what I mean? Like I've
Yeah.
been all over the US, but I've never been outside of it. And it was so cool seeing like this whole new layer of art and like that's my favorite kind of art. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Was that your favorite part of going to Italy, or what would you say was your favorite part?
Um I loved the food. I really loved the food.
Yeah, everyone always says that.
The pasta and the pizza was so good, and
Yeah.
there was this gelato place next to where we were staying,
Uh,
and we went every night. It was so
yeah.
good. Oh my gosh.
How are the people over there?
Um, really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. I mean, I think that because we were tourists, they didn't love us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, makes sense.
but I think that the culture of Italy is definitely a lot different.
Mm.
Um, I think that ever since I went there, I actually kind of looked more into Italian culture because I think that it's so cool. Like the work life balance is different, which I think is like really important to me. Like that's something that I think about a lot. And like they're like nicer to each other and like it's just a very different culture and a very different experience.
Okay, Grace. What would you say is a moment that changed your life?
Um,
That's more of a deeper question there.
it's
I don't know.
okay. I
Yeah.
think that probably when I moved schools in the
Okay.
eighth grade.
Mhm.
I moved from like a really, really small school that I went to literally from kindergarten to seventh grade.
Okay.
I knew the same kids, the same like 30 kids from since I was like really, really little. And then I came to Adams
What is
and
that?
I was in the leadership program and I met so many people all at once. And I was so like involved in that community because I was in leadership. I had to go to like every event.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun and I loved the people and I think that that truly started like my love for leadership and my love for people.
Yeah.
And honestly, I kind of like in my head, that's like when I really truly started my life. Like all of my core memories are like kind of after that point.
Yeah.
So I think that was like the biggest thing for me. For
Oh,
sure.
that's crazy. That's cool because you said you did the speech, right, for the 8th grade speech.
Mhm.
You said so you moved and then that you got there and then that the end of the year you did speech, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's super
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. So you got to meet a lot of people in 8th grade then, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. That's super cool. What would you say was the hardest part? Did you move areas? Is that what it was? Is that why you moved schools?
No, just schools.
Oh, you should switch schools.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you say was the hardest part of switching, or was it even hard? I know you said that you got used to it pretty quickly. What was the hardest thing for you?
I mean, I think that it was easy for me because I was in leadership, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like it's still like because I was meeting so many people all at once, it was hard for me to have like true friendships very early.
Yeah.
Because obviously I had no one before that, and I was moving to this new school, and I was talking to so many people that I wasn't talking to the same person every day, and I wasn't really forming that relationships until months in. So like when my birthday came around that December, like I didn't have anyone at my birthday party because I didn't have anyone that I was really close to at that point.
Yeah.
Which was like it was very disheartening for me, I think, because like obviously like that's sad when no one goes to your birthday, you know?
Yeah.
But I also think that my birthday after that, my next birthday when I was a freshman, was like so good because I had gotten all these friends that like really truly love me and they threw me a surprise party.
Wow.
So like
okay,
they
look at
really
that.
put in all that effort to like make me feel loved, and like although it was hard to start those friendships, like I truly made so many friends with people that I really, really love. So
That's
cool.
awesome. That's really cool. Okay. What would you say is your favorite artist slash like band?
I honestly don't listen to music a lot,
Okay.
but I do really love Souza.
Souza? Okay. Everyone likes Souza.
I feel like I listen to her Control album like all the time,
Yeah.
and I feel like I probably know every word of that song of that album, like
album?
every word,
Yeah.
and I feel like a lot of those songs tend to relate to me. So
I remember I think I asked you this when we were in switching the big class one time. Where you're like, because you put the song in one of your posts.
probably.
It's called like My Girl or something.
Mhm.
Okay, you know it? No, yeah. What is your favorite fast food place?
Ooh.
There's a lot of them here.
I know.
So-
Oh my gosh. I don't know if it counts. I have two. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if the first one counts, but the taco place that's like right up the street right there, La Costa.
Oh, La Costa, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that place so much.
Okay.
I love their tacos.
Yes.
So good.
What kind of tacos do you like getting?
I get asada and carnitas.
Oh, got it.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
did I totally forget?
Oh, yeah. Is there anything else that you like getting? Like this, I like quesadillas or burritos. Is there anything else? That you
I
like
do
getting?
love a quesadilla with carne asada.
Yeah. Okay, that's super
That's
cool.
so good.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was your second one? You said you had two places.
I've really been loving Chick-fil-A recently.
Chick-fil-A. You know what's crazy? My friend was like, oh, because I'd never gone to Chick-fil-A until like May. I think it was May.
I
when
know. I
went.
haven't gone to recently either.
Mm-hmm. Well, my friend was like, oh, it's a crime that you never gone to Chick-fil-A. 'Cause before that, I never went. So he's like, it's a crime you never been to Chick-fil-A. So I went, and the place actually really good. Like, I've never gone there, and I used to think it was like, oh, it's like probably overrated. Honestly, guys, it's not overrated. It's really, it's properly rated because it's really good. What do you like to get from there?
I get the chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets?
I think that like, because I feel like there are so many places, like so many fast food places that have like chicken strips, but they're like not really good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, they kind of like taste manufactured. You know what I mean? Like,
I know what you
tell,
mean. Yeah.
Like, they're not really good quality. But like Chick-fil-A like is actually so good. Like I don't feel bad after eating it. You know what I mean? So and like the waffle fries are so good.
They are.
So good. Oh my gosh.
What do you think about the Chick-fil-A sauce?
I'm not a big sauce person.
You're not?
I've never had the Chick-fil-A sauce.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, I think it has a weird smell, and my friend's like, just have it. It's actually really good. You should try it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's really good. No, yeah, that's really cool. Two really good places right there. So yeah, if you were in charge of the country for like a week, what would be one thing you would change that would be permanent?
Is it realistic?
No.
Okay, because I was like, I don't know if I can change anything in 2 weeks.
No, I know, yeah, but let's say you were to change
Okay.
whatever you wanted to in a week or two.
Okay.
Permanently, what would it be?
I feel like my biggest concern within politics and the reason that I don't really like it is because I think that a lot of politics are really corrupt.
Yeah.
Like the people that are in politics, they don't really care about what they're actually doing, and it's more for the money.
Yeah.
Which I don't really appreciate. And also, like, I feel like the president doesn't do as much as everyone thinks that they do, because a lot of it is up to the state.
Yeah.
And, like, you have to go through, like, the legislative and all that to, like, actually get things approved. So, I don't really know how to answer your question.
No, yeah, okay. No, yeah, I get it. All right. All right. Now, my final question to you is, what is your message to the world?
I think that we talked about this in my last interview.
I think so, yeah.
My biggest message is to spread kindness and to spread love. That is always going to be my biggest thing. That is, like, always what I'm aiming for at all points in time. Like, if I can just, like, make someone smile or make someone feel loved, like, I think that is so important. Because, like, so many people in the world are just so negative. Yeah. For, like, no reason, too. Like, even just we were talking about politics and how, like, no one's ever nice when they're debating each other. Like, no one, like, barely even respectful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's so much hate, and people are so comfortable, like, being so rude to each other, and I don't think that's okay. And I think that it's a very big goal for me to try to go against that and give people the respect that they deserve and show people that they're loved and try to include people, you know? Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. No, I feel like you really are passionate about that, because, you know, the stuff that you do at school. Oh,
you're good.
The stuff you do at school, and, you know, and the things that you've talked about in this interview, I feel like you are, you know, very passionate about it, and you do really resemble kindness.
Thank you
towards
so
people.
much.
So,
that means a lot.
So no, thank you, and I think everybody would agree with me. So, so yeah, thank you, Grace.
Anyways, that's all the time that we have today. Thank you for spending a little bit of your time listening to a little bit of my life.
Now that's Undisputed, and you know it.